You know, I really feel emasculated without my beard. What is it? Well, it's a thing. What is this? It's a guitar. Specifically, it is an Xbox 360 Guitar Hero 5 guitar. Does it work? Absolutely. Perfectly. Not going to use this one. This is my PlayStation 3 Guitar Hero 5 guitar. Why do I want to use it on this one, you might ask? Simple. No strum bar. Well, no strum switches, actually. And while I could just get something that replaces that, I figured, why not give myself a headache too? Why not give myself just all the cancer? Just everything, all at once. So, I'm going to turn this guitar into a hardwired guitar. I'm pretty sure Brian Bright would shoot me if he could. Let's get started. All right, let's get in here. Okay, it looks like this way, and then this way, and over here, and then down here, and then probably somewhere along here. Ooh, purple. Okay. So I'll be honest, I do not know what a lot of this stuff is. Ooh, comes with a USB cable. And a keycap puller? Okay. Oh, and this is actually important. I'll explain the purpose of this later. Those are non-standard keycaps, not keycaps. Oh! That's cool. Oh, and the fret buttons. This is no doubt the central brain of the unit. Yep. Got a Type-C port here, USB, and this cable plugs directly into here. I'm not sure exactly which way. It looks like this way. Something like that. And what this is for is so that you can use it with an Xbox 360, and you just use a controller to steal its authentication. So that's very important. Ribbon cables. I like that they're different colors. Alright, so now we take apart the guitar. I'm gonna have to break its neck off though. I went there. So the neck is pretty straightforward. The neck, we just have 4 screws up here, 3 down here, and then 4 more over here. So pretty straightforward. And these are Torx T8. Ooh, crunchy. I do not believe I've ever been in this neck before. I think I'll try a 9 on that one. I mean, it makes sense if I were using a 7 and I'm supposed to be using an 8. But now I'm using a 9. And it just works. I don't know, maybe these were 10 actually. Alright, let's see what's inside. And as you might expect, not a whole lot. And this is held in by a single Phillips head. I mean, look at this. Just one. The other side's a post that's got the other screw going through it. Just lines up right like that. So that's cool. So as I understand it, this whole thing is just coming out. Turn this around. Take this out. Then we'll just pop the fret buttons out. Those off to the side. Now, there should be one in here that has a ridge on it. No, they're all smooth. Unless it's the one I already put in. But I'm sure that one didn't. No. These are all ridgeless. I suppose I don't need the ridge, but... yeah, that's weird. Because the yellow one always has a ridge. See? And it's the only one. Red doesn't. Green doesn't. I mean, I guess it's not wrong. It's just weird. Or maybe it is wrong. What do I know? Yeah, there's these two plastic posts over here. And these two are too close together for that plastic post to go in between. So it just sits high on the board. Yeah, this doesn't fit exactly. And I didn't get any instructions with it either. Here they align. And it just goes down on that. And it's fine. It's perfect. So if we agree that S1 is green, then yeah, it's supposed to go like this. There's no other way. And I selected a GH5 guitar. And yeah, you can tell it's a GH5 guitar with this. World Tour, this was black. Same as the color of the guitar. In 5, this was changed to silver. Okay, that's weird. Why didn't it come with instructions? Oh, wait. It probably did. For install guides, frequently asked questions, troubleshooting, and more information, visit the RetroCults.com or scan the left QR code. Need more help? Scan. Okay, fine. Sure. Because I'm not sure what to do. Yeah, I'm not really getting a lot of stuff out of this. I got a little bit of information. So these require washers is what I'm getting out of that. But even so, this is not possible to put here unless I like cut this thing, which I don't want to do. It's going to affect the structural integrity of the screw stock. What about this thing, the touch bar? Like, is that just gonna not work ever again? I'm getting tripped up on the very first thing, which is the annoying part. Oh, and I just realized this plug, this USB looking thing, is on the end of this. So they want you to hardwire the entire guitar together with cable. Let's see about this. Green's travel feels just about right. All the other ones are too far, which is to be expected because look at how much this thing is lifted off the board. Green is the only one that's even close to correct. But yeah, you can see it right here. If you look at fret 2 here, you can see directly under it is this thing. Like, directly under it. So, if you were to try to put a cable on that, you would not be able to. Well, let's just say that I could actually get this in here, and I could screw it down. This is how far the cables go. I mean, unless I'm supposed to be using the white ones. But again, there's no instructions. You know what would make the most sense? Using 3 colored connectors. There are different colors, and the connectors were the different color of the wire, so that you could see where the wires are supposed to terminate. There's nothing about it. It's just a... Oh, here we go. Build guides. No, PlayStation. Here we go. Easy. 12 steps. Just like my Alcoholics Anonymous. Mechanical fretboard. Gather the revival kit fretboard and translucent frets. Connect one end of the white wires into the RGB fret 1, fret 2. Yep, got it. Remove the stock silicone pad and frets if they are still in the fret slots. Insert the new translucent frets into the fret slots. Place the new fretboard onto the screw standoffs that the stock fretboard used to sit on. The red switches and white connectors should be facing downwards towards the translucent frets. Use 2 long screws to secure the new fretboard.
2 on each side.
Okay, but
that flat piece at the end of the net.
yeah,
Quick
got that, but what about this? Okay. Man, I'm having so much trouble believing that this standoff, having a wing on it, is what's causing me so much trouble. It's baffling. Okay, well, in the interest of it not taking literally forever, because this video is already 40 minutes in recording, and I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm just gonna move on from the neck for right now. I'll come back to this later. Maybe it'll make sense to me here in a minute. Now, opening up the actual guitar body is a little bit different. So, you might see these screws here. There's one up here, one over here. But these are just cosmetic. They're part of the paint. If I were to scratch these or try to unscrew them, it would just mess up the faceplate. You might look at the back, but there's no screws anywhere. Not even underneath this label down here. So where are they? They're under the faceplate, actually. Now, I don't have long fingernails right now, and since I don't want to wait a couple weeks, I'll just take a shortcut and use Mr. Pry Tool here. Now what Mr. Pry Tool is going to do is he's going to be my fingernail. And I usually just try to pull it up somewhere over here. And there we go. And then just work your way over or down or whatever. And there you go. Faceplate is removed. And don't worry about the snapping sounds. These are actually quite rigid and dusty. But yeah, I've never actually snapped any of these in my life. And that's saying something because I'm not exactly known for being gentle. Oh my. This thing needs to be cleaned. Like, what happened? Who's been using this besides me? And if that's my stuff, then damn, that is nasty. It looks like most of these screws aren't even in here, though. There's not one in here, 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 here. I see two. One here. Oh yeah, and these strap things, those will come out. And you will probably drop them. Not lose them necessarily, but you will drop them. So it's best just to get them out when you can. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's... Oh, there were no screws in there. It looked like it, though. Are there? No, there aren't, huh? Well, shows what I know. Yep, I dropped one. Okay, so the bottom piece, that's fantastic. But the top piece, now this is what we want. Specifically, we want to put the brain here. Now, I'm not entirely sure which way it's supposed to go, but yeah, that fits. And in theory, I could just put this right here, and I would have a guitar that at least looks like it works. But it doesn't, because it's not connected anywhere. So, first order of business is to get the Phillips head back on here and remove all these screws. I don't even know why they did the LEDs there to begin with. They could have just done the same thing as what they did on the Xbox, which is put it over here on the menu. Now, I didn't see anything for the whammy bar. And of all the things to be socketed, this weird USB looking thing is socketed. Why? But I most certainly did not receive a whammy bar, and if the guy expects me to use a potentiometer in place of a whammy bar, well, you got another thing coming, brother. That's not happening. Yeah, I don't really understand this. So, you have two sets of wires right next to each other. One is a socket, and the other is a ribbon cable. Like, but why though? And here is the PlayStation button that is nasty. And I can see why now. It's starting to disintegrate. It's working its way back into petroleum. I'm gonna have to wipe all this off, make it super clean with alcohol. About the only solace that I have is that I can save my beloved PlayStation button, which someone will probably want me to change out for something else because that person doesn't like the PlayStation button, but I say to that person, no. Okay. I'm gonna go give this thing a wash, and the top part as well. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from getting these a clean, but I wanted to bring something to everyone's attention. This is the Select Star Power, and as you can see right here, it's gone into this rubber deformation or whatever the hell it is. Basically, this thing is working its way back to becoming petroleum. It's sticky, and even though it's clean, it has bits of paper towel that are stuck to it. And that's the same with both of the start buttons. This controller actually has 2 start buttons, if you can believe it. So basically, all of the rubberized controller ports I'm going to have to scrub all the way down. So those I'm going to leave until later. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't do anything right now. That doesn't mean that we have to let all of that ruin our fun. Here on the front of the guitar, I actually went and scrubbed that, whatever the hell it was, here and up here. And I did scratch it a little bit because I was using an abrasive pad. But since the faceplate is going to be over this, it doesn't matter. And to be perfectly honest, it has to be in the right light anyway. It's not that noticeable. But, yeah. Also, I want to get rid of this stuff. And what do we use for that? Alcohol, of course. And just like that, it's gone. Give it a little bit of a wipe down, clean. And there you go. Now it just looks like a randomly recessed hole. Oh, and there's a little bit of water here. Nope. And there's still a little bit of moisture up here, but that's okay. I'm not going to screw it back together immediately anyway. The first order of business is going to be installing the brain. Now, fortunately, the strum bar, which is the LED new backlit version, is going to just go in here. And then these things are just going to go either side and kind of hold it in place. Because, yeah, this strum bar just is not even the same shape. Okay, yeah, it's the same shape. It's not the same standard, though. I mean, this one has something on either side, a beveled out hole on one side and regular on the other. Maybe these two? Let's give it a try. Yep. Why that's not just part of the mold, I don't really understand, but I guess it doesn't have to be. See, this is why it's good to have physical instructions, or at least a card that says scan here for the instructions to this particular device. If you're a complete dumbass and don't know anything about what you're doing. Does it stay in? Yes. I actually kind of do like how that looks. The 3D print is a little obnoxious, but it looks alright. Okay, so for right now I'm just putting in the bare minimum number of screws. Just to give it a try. That's quite wobbly, and I don't think that more screws is actually going to make a difference. I mean, I guess some people do like a wobbly strum bar. But for me, it's just harder to tell when it's actually actuating the key. Because that's what it is. Right now, this is nothing more than a space bar. Well, that's all it ever was, but yeah. I can't make it go down anymore. You know what? I should probably be looking at the guide. That would probably help. Oh, it's supposed to have springs on the strum bar. Well, no wonder. I don't have those. And that's... Yep. I figured that out. And he also recommends putting a little lube on there. Yep, I was right. Standoffs. And then the circular ones have a reverse, and that goes on top of that. Okay. Just like picking a grape off the vine. I picked the vine. I'm not sure that that did anything. I think I need the other ones. Alright, so did that do anything? I think it did. Alright, that's in there. But now it's pushing down on both of them. So I'm thinking that we need a spacer. The downstrum, because I'm right-handed, feels a little bit weird, but the upstrum feels alright. Sounds weird, though. Okay, so I'm guessing that we're gonna need these spacers. So I guess I do need the other standoffs. I think that these are more for, like, preventing the thing from shorting out against the board. But, like, insulation. But, yeah, this one would actually be doing something. But all these other ones are just paper thin. So this one is 1/64 of an inch. This one, which is a little bit thicker, is 3 1/28. And then this one is 3 64. So yeah, we're dealing in stuff that perceptionally is going to make zero difference. And that's what this stuff is all relying on. I don't think that that's going to help me out any. So yeah, the only reasonable thing is to unscrew these by perhaps a turn or two, and then just hope that that's enough. It definitely doesn't have that tactile audio click that I like. It's kind of more of a mushy kind of feel, like a Rock Band Stratocaster. I wanted to give up on making this video, but if I'm having this much trouble and there's no other documentation, look, if I can figure it out, then yeah, this is actually a very good video to make. Okay, so I figured it out with this thing. So I reread what the guy said about this a couple times, and what I realized is that I didn't have both of these screws in, and they weren't tight. Now these screws need to be as tight as they can go so that there's no rattle whatsoever on this thing. And then on here, the spacers are only necessary on the PS3 guitar. It's kind of hard for me to get a good view of that, but they go underneath, and really the board just sits on the spacer, and then the screw should not be super tight to the point where it could damage the solder mask. Instead, it should just be kind of on there. And if I take my screwdriver, like so, you see it's actually quite easy for me to turn it, loosen it, tighten it. But yeah, the angle's weird, that's why the screw's tamming out a bit. But yeah, I have these screws to where it's basically just to the point where they're starting to get hard to turn, but it's not to the point where it's like, no, I physically cannot go another clockwise motion at all. And the end result is this. It's perhaps a little bit wobbly, but it's within tolerance. So there's that. I'll be honest, this is not good. The instructions on here are written more so than explained, and I understand completely this is exactly how I would make instructions, but it's not easy for me to follow along with. So I can't really call this good or bad, it's just what it is. So yeah, me making this video is actually kind of important. Okay, so the next thing the guy wants us to do is the start and select board. Since the select button is nasty, and I do not want to put it in until it's cleaned, if you get an alcohol swab, or prep pad in this case, and they're pretty hard, you can usually wipe off the offending material pretty easily, especially if it's starting to degrade to this level. Now, it will leave it extremely, extremely smooth, just like my brain, but yeah, it'll at least get it off and make it so that you can touch the thing without having to go wash your hands again. But it will start to discolor. So yeah, that's what it looks like now, and all that stuff is now on here. Well, not all of it. There's still quite a bit left on here. And unfortunately, because this is all rubberized material, eventually it will all start to dissipate and disintegrate. So right now it just looks nasty. It's a lot cleaner than it was, because this controller has two start buttons, one for left-handed people and one for right-handed people. You might be wondering why I'm cleaning the other start button if I don't need it. Anyway, with the board being symmetrical like this, it actually doesn't matter which way you put it on. The only thing that matters is that it works. We're gonna put it on like this, the way that's supposed to be. And this is just a thing that's in there. I don't know why, it just is. So we align the pins like this, and there you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, Eddie. It's a little bit loose, that's because this one's not super tight, but it really does not need to be. Button, who's got the... Oh, that looks nasty. Button, who's got the button? Actually feels pretty good though. And considering that's how I'm going to be activating star power. Yeah, feels good. Might want to put a little bit of lubrication down there, but that's a problem for future Elliot. Alright, next, D-pad board. Surprisingly clean. And also they call it menu. And also up, but all the others are D. Why isn't this DU, DL, DR, and DN? So it goes down like that, I guess. Okay. So what are the directions? Well, this has been simplified, I guess. Actually, no, it's just been split. Me Matt. Did you know Me Matt died in the Holly? So this one will be number 1, and this one will be Nummer 2. So I'm noticing that these are kind of cut to length, and there's like a lot of screw and faceplate posts that are right there. Now I'm not suggesting that they're going to catch on this stuff. Okay, so next is USB-C board, which uses the yellow one, which is the only 4-pin. So it goes to that thing. So it goes on this board here, which I think is this one. Oh, PlayStation uses this one with the... Okay. So this is all we need for the PlayStation, I guess. Of course, there's a little cutout for the pins here. Oh, it's got a shroud. Okay, I see it now. Sometimes you gotta put the puzzle together before you see it. So then we'll screw that in here using a couple of the long boys, I guess. This makes me a little bit nervous. Yep, my fear is completely unwarranted. I like how he uses the word gather here. Gather the USB-C board bracket and shroud. Gather 2 short screws. He's not wrong. That is proper English. But I just like the way that he says gather instead of collect or get. So it should mount right here. Oops. I'm trying not to bump the camera, but with where it is situated, that's just hard. Okay, now the whammy bar, that's going to be a thing. After whammy installation, connect the black wire of the whammy connector to the 0 board. Well, yeah, see about that? This is what I have. And your board does not have a connector like this. In fact, it's decidedly smaller. So that's going to be a problem.
Now take a look inside the whammy piece and you'll see there are 2 small teeth on the bottom. We want to take this and line it up with our new...
Oh, I get it. I totally get it, actually. It is a potentiometer. That's all it is. It's just that it's designed specifically so that it plugs in to where the whammy bar used to be. On this side, there should be a notch. I think it's this. And then this thing just pops in there in the exact same way. I just finished with the whammy bar. I didn't bother recording it because after watching the whole video, it's like 3 minutes. And yeah, there are 2 sets of these pieces. And you're not even sure which way the whammy bar is supposed to be facing, up or down. And then I found out that this piece here is actually just a 3D printed piece with some DuPont cables that are terminated over here. So yeah, the potentiometer is basically just feeding directly into this through like the most janky setup that there is, which I'm okay with. But so you take this piece, you put it on the bottom. You take this piece, you put it on top. The guy does it better in his video than I ever really could, trying to get all the good shots and whatnot. He did way better than I could. So that leaves us with just a couple more things, actually. The neck, rather, obviously. But if I remember correctly, there's another board. Let's see if my memory is right or wrong. So he goes on about this, about using the lubricant, which is fine. Fret 1, fret 2, RGB. But it still doesn't tell me anything about how I'm supposed to do it. It just says this. Now, okay, sure. That's pretty self-explanatory. But that's not how the neck works. At least my neck, anyway. This would fit just like this, except it needs to go this way, and that leaves this exact piece of wire here, or piece of cable rather, right up against this. So I really do not know what to do here. There's nothing in the instructions about this. I've looked multiple times. I like the keys, and I know that the keys are just supposed to press up against these. I've seen people make custom keycaps that have just like the regular cherry or whatever keycap shape of like the plus sign, but no, this is just a weird looking key that doesn't have that. But you know what? Let's just take these out. Let's just take everything out. But if we agree that it goes on like this, then it can't, because this thing is in the way. What is that thing? It is the plastic here of the stock. So, since there's nothing in the instructions about it, I'm going to do something about it. That's probably going to offend someone. Alright, so I've clipped that off, ruining the collector's value. But now, this thing actually sits closer to correctly. Well, since I've already done a little bit of cutting, I don't suppose it would actually be a bad idea to trim these down a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to put a stripe on here, on either side, and then fret 2, I'm going to put 2 stripes. So RGB will have none, 1 will have 1, and 2 will have 2. And for this, well, I'll be honest, since I've already cut once, I'm going to just cut again. And that's how it's going to go. They're all three going to take this same little path right here. And if I cut well enough, they should just stay. And the important thing is that when I put the top on, it doesn't grab anywhere. That's all that matters, is what I think, because it's my project that I'm doing. This needs to move down about a 1/4 inch. Okay, feels good down to about here. Okay, I think I see what the problem is. So now, once I get this screwed back together, should be able to test it and get a few 100,000 points on Through the Fire and Flames. Oh, and the official guide says do not use this hole. Only this one. I mean, it'd be one thing if I could just take this stuff and undo it whenever I saw fit, but or have it be something that was designed to disconnect, like just tiny little connectors. That should be it, all wired up. Let's let's hope this thing works. Alright. So now I have a Guitar Hero controller with a Type-C port. See, I should sound like a machine gun without the faceplate, but that's okay. For a preliminary test, that's fine. Alright, let's have a look. So it's been a couple of weeks, and I've been using this guitar on and off. So I've been able to form somewhat of a good opinion about it. Now, on the one hand, this guitar is fantastic. I've tried it on an Xbox 360, it worked flawlessly. I tried it on PS3, it worked flawlessly. I even tried it on Rock Band 4 on a PS4, and it worked flawlessly. Also, side note, Rock Band 4 is Rock Band Mad Catz, and for that reason alone, it sucks. Just putting that out there. Anyway, there was one other system that I wanted to try it on. I wanted to try it on the PlayStation 2. So I got out my handy little Brook Wingman, and I plugged it in, just like so, and it worked flawlessly, is what I would like to say. In actuality, this thing does not support guitar controllers, and I've since been made aware of this by Brook themselves. I don't know why. So, Brook is out here trying to chase the D-pad and face buttons in general being pressure sensitive of the PlayStation 2, which really only the PlayStation 3 also have those controls. But they're missing out on all the guitar stuff, on all the rhythm game stuff that was prevalent in PlayStation 2 Guitar Heroes and Rock Bands. And I just find it weird that Brook, this company that's propped itself up on being this end-all be-all, but not music instruments, really? So the few times I could even get it to work, all it would do is act like a Rock Band guitar was plugged in on Guitar Hero 3 back when they didn't patch in the Rock Band stuff. I'd press red and it would strum orange, I'd press orange and it would strum green or something like that. So I said to myself politely, I'm never going to be able to play any Guitar Hero or Rock Band games on PlayStation 2 because Brook will not allow me. And I hung up the guitar and I gave up. Actually, no, I didn't. This is a RetroCultMods, same as the guitar itself, converter that goes from USB, regular controllers included, to the PlayStation 2, and it has a little USB head on here for extra power. I have had this guitar in my possession for about 2 months now. And, well, I had the body before that. It worked. The strum board broke. I threw that out a long time ago when it broke. I should have kept hold of it and tried to fix it now that I'm a little bit better with soldering, but I didn't. And I have no idea where the original wireless receiver. This is the only guitar that I've ever really tested. Well, I should say the only brain for the guitar that I've ever really tested. I did buy this other guitar months and months and months ago, like probably over a year ago at this point, off of Amazon. It was a Les Paul, and it was another one of those clone controllers that had the wireless receiver. Now that guitar worked just fine, but it was only for PS3 and PS4 and Guitar Hero or Rock Band. This one is for all the systems. I've got to work on my Xbox 360, my PlayStation 3, my PlayStation 4, PC with Clone Hero. I did eventually buy this thing, which allows me to use it on Guitar Heroes 1, 2, and Encore for PlayStation 2. Unfortunately, not Guitar Hero 3. In my tests, the Guitar Hero 3 game just does not like this guitar at all. You can navigate the menus, but once you get into a song, it disconnects and it will not reconnect for love nor money. The other thing that I want to say about this guitar is that since it's the only one that I've tested, I don't know all of the different pros and cons about every single variant of controller. I'm sure that there's things that this thing does that I will never need, but I'm also sure that there are other guitar controllers that do other things that I would like more than this one. And in the past, I've gone on about, like, when I was reviewing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, the photo mode. Yeah, but that's kind of, just something that's in most modern games as a means to kind of incentivize you to look around. Well, alright, suppose I went on about this guitar. It's got these RGB lights in the neck. I don't have it plugged in, or I'd show you. And it's got RGB here on the strum bar. Okay, yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. But what does it do, though? And then if I went on about, like, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But don't all the clone guitars do that, though, to some extent? Like RGB lights or whatever? Going on about little tiny features that this thing has is really quite pointless. The plastic is fine. So that's why I chose this particular guitar. I lost the receiver long ago, but it never needs a firmware update. It's compatible with all the systems that have Guitar Hero games. It will continue to be compatible with all these systems. Yeah, I'm sure it's compatible with all of it. So this guitar does everything that I need it to do. It costs about reasonable considering what's on Etsy and Amazon and other places, but I haven't tried any of the other guitars to really see what this one doesn't do that I would like for it to do. The only thing I can think of is, if you look right here, it's got a USB port now. Okay, so it's a wired guitar. Alright, but that doesn't bother me. As such, I can't really recommend it, but I can't really not recommend it. If you have a PlayStation 3 guitar that you've lost the wireless receiver to, and especially if that same guitar is missing things, yeah, then this makes sense. This makes sense if all you want to do is just be able to buy a kit, put it in yourself, and there you go. And actually, putting in a kit like this encourages tinkering. So after I made the video, the original preliminary putting it together, I've had this thing apart no fewer than 5 times. And that's just so that I could mess around with it, so that I could switch things, so I could actually see, what's going on with stuff. It was double strumming for a while. I eventually decided I didn't want the long ones that were pushing up against the strum bar. Instead, I wanted the shorter ones so that the strum bar could actually lift a little bit more. And that way it would give me more tactile control over when I strummed. So, yeah, I've tinkered with it. And I've made it into something that it's supposed to be. And I have to be honest, I don't know if the Cracked is better. I don't know if one of the Etsy ones is better. The only thing I know for sure is that this one worked for what I wanted it for. And that's really the end of it. So with that said, Dark Lord Elliot, and we're done here.